Hi everybody, Bob with Knives Town here. We're looking today at a Fallkniven knife. This is the Fallkniven TK2. And I must say, it comes in a nice presentation box. It's got the Fallkniven logo on it there with the 3 crowns, the tray Kronor. It's a nice box that you'd be proud to present this knife as a gift to someone. Comes with a felt bottom, and it certainly would function as a good storage place for the knife when you're not using it. Anyway, that's a nice bonus. It lends sort of a regal atmosphere to the knife. It comes with a leather sheath, and that is mounted in a velvet background here that's got a molding that's molded for the sheath and for the knife. Sheath fits in its own mold there, and the knife has its own spot. There we go. Looking at the sheath first, it's the kind of sheath we've come to expect from Fallkniven. Just a thick leather, high quality, really, just durable, rugged, well-built sheath. It's got a heavy snap on it here, and it has a belt loop which is non-adjustable. That's the style. That's just run your belt through it. Really nice quality. Take a close look at this. It does have the logo on it there on the flap, and I think there's some design there on the snap as well. You can see there's some little bit of design element here running around the edge there. And it's just got a nice quality, even color. There's no imperfections. It's just well made. Heavy stitching, riveted there. It doesn't come with a liner, and really it doesn't need one. It's really quite a rigid, robust sheath just without one. And it is a drop-in sheath, so the knife just fits in all the way like that. There's no strap or the finger guard coming out of it. It just rides like that, and it holds the knife without the flap even. I mean that's in there pretty well with friction. I mean it'll certainly, as you use it, that'll wear, but it's a good snug sheath, good quality. It's nice leather smell too. All right, taking a look at the knife. Yeah, that's a nice looking knife. We've come to expect good quality from Fallkniven, and they don't disappoint here, not at all. This is you'll pay a little bit more for these knives, but it's worth it. You'll be glad you did. And the quality is, I'd say it's about the best production knife you can buy, short of a custom-made knife. These are just good knives. Technical specs on this: that's a 4-inch blade. It is made of the 3G super steel. That is to say that it is a laminated steel. The center layer is powdered steel, which is as you know, that's one of the best steels you can get. It's a powdered steel, so you can mix the alloys in the exact proportion you want, and they're mixed throughout the blade evenly, and it's a steel of very uniformed, very stable, very even dispersion of the elements. It's a very good steel to have. And then and that steel is made, which makes the cutting edge, of course, and the center part, and that is a very hard steel. It is at a 62 Rockwell hardness, so you'll really have great edge retention there. And it's sandwiched between 2 softer pieces of steel, which have a higher toughness. So you're not going to get breakage. You're not going to get any kind of damage that you would with just a pure, high hardness steel. But you get the best of both worlds, really. So that's an excellent blade to have. Really can't think of a better way of making one. It is convex edge. That's got the rolled convex edge, which is takes a little bit more time to make, but that's a very typical blade edge that Fallkniven makes. Almost all their knives do have that convex edge. It is proven to be, it is the toughest and sharpest. It will hold an edge, and it will has the best strength of an edge. So that's a high quality edge you've got there. Its overall length is 8.4 inches. The weight is 5.1 ounces. And the thickness of the blade is 4.5 millimeters. So I'll see if I can get in on that for you. You can see, if I can do this right, you can even see the center piece, the steel lines in there. Yeah, you can see the sandwich there of steel. There's the logo. That's the TK2 and the 3 crowns. And I don't know if you can see that right there or not, but it says Fallkniven, Sweden. Right there. It's got a swedge at the top there. And if you look closely, you can see that laminate line. I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, it's well polished. It's hard to see. The handle, now, I wanted to talk about that for a minute. That's made of thermarun. And if you look at it, at first glance, it looks a lot like Kraton, which it does share some characteristics of Kraton, but in my opinion, it's better. It's a notch above Kraton. You take a look at that, and if you've seen other knives with handles that look like that, that's your first thought is, oh, it looks like Kraton. Thermarun it's a product. It's a type of a plastic that can be made in different hardnesses. It can be made to be soft, or it can be made to be harder depending on the application. In this case, it's quite hard. There's no give or anything to it. Although it's funny, it still gives you a rubbery, grippy type of a feel. But it is a hard material. And this is it's used in different applications like cabling. It's a very good insulator, so it's non-conductive, so you're electrically insulated using this knife. It's used for hoses, gaskets, liners, bumper covers, these kinds of applications, and it's nearly indestructible. It's not going to rot or crack or shrink or fade or anything like that. It's a perfect material for a knife handle. The handle also does have a lanyard hole there, which is collared, and I appreciate that. I always like when they take the extra step to collar the lanyard hole. I think that's a nice distinctive touch. And then it has the medallion there on both sides. That's the 3 crowns. And there you can see that checkering, that checkered grip. That really does grab. It really is very grabby, and it doesn't allow your hand to slip at all on the knife. It is a full tang blade. You can see it coming out the bottom there. And that handle is designed with a wide then narrow then wide type of design. And look, you can even see on the edges the checkering, or it looks like it's bristled. Does have a little bit of a finger groove here, not much, just a little bit, and then there's a little bit of a finger guard here to keep your finger from slipping up onto the knife. It has a straight back and a straight spine. It's not a drop point per se. It's a straight, basically straight from the tip to the tail. If it weren't for that swedge, It would be perfectly straight. There's no jimping on it, and you wouldn't expect to see, not on these knives. You know, this is you know, this Swedish design. It's all about minimalism. It's all about the idea of less is more, and you're never going to see jimping on a knife like this. And you know, I mean, and you're not missing anything. At no point using this knife are you ever going to say to yourself, "Gee, I wish it had some jimping." I mean, you know, it's just, this knife is everything it needs to be. It's got a super sharp edge. It's got a handle that's indestructible. It's full tang, and I see this knife being a utility knife, really an all-purpose knife, an all-purpose. You know, it could be a hunting knife, certainly for you know, field dressing. You could certainly use it that way. It could be a camp knife. Now, you're not going to be doing chopping with this knife. It's not a chopper, but it's everything else you need. You know, I mean, it's got a 4-inch blade and a 4.4-inch handle. And so what you've got here really is that size of a blade is large enough to handle probably 95% of the chores that you have to do with a knife. And this size of a knife is the design and size and shape that probably 95% of all people would be able to comfortably hold in their hand and you know, confidently use and work. So you've really got, it's really that sweet spot of you know, of length and width and shape and design that is gonna, you know, be a knife for all purposes and all people. And if you do need to do, if you do need to do chopping, then you're gonna want a different knife. But you could baton. You could do some batoning with this if you wanted to, you know, or any other chore that you had. That's a great knife, and you've got it from Fallkniven, which is a really great high quality company. It comes with this leather sheath, and it comes also with a presentation box that, if you're going to give it as a gift, it's going to make it an impressive moment. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you again.